Fantastic. Producer Jamie, will you please play the flute for me? And also, can you sing along so that I know? Yeah? Hello and welcome to the Tifo Football Podcast. I'm Joe Devine, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Jon Mackenzie.
Hello, Joe Devine.
How's it going? Okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I enjoyed beating you at EA FC.
Please don't ever mention that ever again. Did you spent quite a lot of time in the tactics cupboard today?
Yes, practicing to beat you.
Yeah? Okay, how about that? Now, a returning guest in Jonathan Shainin.
Hello.
All right, how's it going?
Pretty good. Great. I'm going to say great.
Pretty good and great.
Pretty good and great. I'm upgrading to great.
Fantastic. And also, we deliriously enjoyed the company today of stand-up comedian Michael Odewale.
Hello.
Hi, buddy. How's it going?
Thanks for having me. I also enjoyed beating you in FC 26.
They're lining up to take shots at me. I thought I was better at the game. It turns out I am not better at the game. Now, we're recording this podcast in the immediate aftermath of the USA-Australia game, for which we did our live watch-along on the Athletic FC, by the way, if you want to watch that back, although I feel as though people kind of turned that game off maybe 70, 80 minutes in. It did seem like after USA went 2 goals up. I'm getting ahead of myself. Look at the analysis I'm doing.
You are drunk on analysis.
I can't help myself. Now, what did we talk about on today's show? Well, upcoming is the following. USA versus Australia. I get even drunker on analysis. We talk a little bit about Mexico beating South Korea to become the first team into the knockout stages. Canada also, they win their first ever Men's World Cup game. That's a bit of fun. We talk about that. We talk about Jesse Marsch. We play a rondo. We try to squeeze all of that into the first half, which I have assured producer Ryan will not happen, but we're going to try. We're going to try anyway. What else have we got? We have in the second half, we're going to have a broad conversation about whether or not this World Cup so far has been good for the country of the United States of America. That's going to be fun. And also, we're going to play some Points Are Bad, and we have some excellent football jokes to read. So there you go, that's the show. And later, an editor will add some music here. Yes, a lovely bit of music that was. We all enjoyed it. Did you like it, Michael?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Some of the best music you've ever heard.
Like being behind the veil. It's amazing. I love it.
There you go. Now, where else to begin, of course, than the US men's national team 2-0 Australia. Now, quick question. Do the US get to be the home team for every game because they are actually at home?
I think so. I don't know what happens if they play Canada or Mexico.
I guess it depends which country they play in.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to play in one of those countries, haven't they?
I mean, they could go for a fourth.
What if both of them played in a country that wasn't their home?
You mean if the US met Mexico in Canada?
Yeah.
I think all hell would break loose. I can't imagine what would happen. No. Well, anyway, listen. The US men's national team won a comfortable victory over Australia, taking them to 6 points, top of Group D, and also qualifying for the knockout rounds. Very exciting for American fans. An own goal from Cameron Burgess and a goal from Alex Freeman sealed the deal. The US, it's fair to say, have impressed on home soil so far. John, how? I mean, I did a little bit of analysis at the beginning to get you going.
Well, I think you should answer this question.
Do you want me to do it?
How did the game play out?
Well, the first half was fascinating, a fascinating duel. We thought the USA would have to contend with breaking down perhaps a mid or low block from the Australians, but there was a little bit more space than maybe we expected. They scored early on from an emphatic own goal, and then later from a goal that I didn't watch and then missed all of the replays of.
Can you have non-emphatic own goals?
I was going to ask that. What makes an own goal emphatic?
Yeah,
I think when it is emphatically own goal, I think that's the distinction. You can sort of skim one in at an unfortunate angle. It can bounce off your head. All sorts of things can happen. But
cracked it in, didn't he?
He belted it in.
It's so funny as well. Both of their games kicked off with an own goal where they put the ball into that corridor and someone just put it in past the goalkeeper. It's like
that's right.
I thought you meant it was an emphatic own goal insofar as like it was earned. Like
right.
I don't know who played the pass in.
Oh, it was Balogun.
Yeah, that like he's gotten to the byline and he's put the ball in an extremely dangerous place.
Corridor of uncertainty.
Yeah.
This is the wonder of the English language. So many interpretations for emphatic own goal.
Well, because it wasn't sometimes right. A defender, maybe especially on a corner kick or whatever, sort of shanks a clearance.
Yeah.
And like really boots it like
That happened in the Qatar Canada game, didn't it? That one was
That was
unfortunately
bad though. That was
This
quite
was like
funny.
this was like a stumbling. Unfortunately, I have 2 legs and one of my feet is about to make contact with this ball.
It nearly
and
took
I
the
can't
net off.
stop
though.
myself.
Like you say though, if you're getting your opponent to run backwards and putting the ball across the net with runners in behind you, you're forcing something. So yeah, maybe as well.
No, that's true. And then for the second part of my analysis, I think once the game was 2-0, there wasn't loads left to play. I felt like it reached a stage where perhaps Australia were keen to not worsen their goal difference, given that there's a feasible possibility that they could go through on 3 points. We don't know what will happen ahead of their meeting of Paraguay. But we spent, I would say, a good 15 minutes talking about which stand-up comedian would make a good football manager and vice versa.
I said Ange.
You said Ange.
Because I went Australian.
With a little bit of threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else did we say? We said, Ian Holloway.
Sean Dyche, I think, got a mention.
Sean Dyche got a mention, yeah. There's numerous out there.
I never said it'd be the worst.
Who would be the worst? Who's the least funny football manager?
Pep,
He's
Be manic.
Mourinho.
Manic energy.
But they're both performers, I think.
yeah.
Actually, Poch would be a very bad stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
I think.
I think that's true. Michael Carrick. Have you
Yeah.
guys seen Michael Carrick's post-match interviews?
Yeah.
I think by design, not funny.
Liam Rosino wouldn't be great. I don't
I think producer Ryan mentioned Mikel Arteta. I
Right,
think
yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the winner.
potentially that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Does he do a kind of? Well, I don't. Yeah.
No, you've lost confidence in your
Yeah,
book.
I have.
Never mind.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, listen, we must press on. I mean, John, you've heard my incredible analysis of the game. What's yours?
Yeah, I think that you nailed it, really. I think it was a case of we thought that Australia would maybe come in, play a little bit less expansive football, sit in and try and hit on the break. And they didn't do that and were quite open and gave out the first goal. We talked a little bit in the analysis at half time about that goal, how that goal came from them actually blocking out the middle and leaving width open, and the US finding ways of exploiting that, getting in behind and obviously playing that own goal that we talked about. And it felt very much as though the US were sort of allowed to do the things that they're good at. In the first half, got a 2-goal lead, and then the second half then just sort of felt a bit of a matter of course. They didn't want to overcommit. Australia went for it a little bit more, but I think because the US had that 2-goal buffer, they were quite comfortable sort of sitting in and sort of blocking them out. And yeah, they I guess they did a good job of sort of managing tempo at the end of the games. That sort of thing is really important, I think, for knockout tournaments, right? If you're in a 2-goal lead, you don't want to keep having to hammer away playing the sort of direct football that you've been playing in the first half. You've got to find ways of being able to prevent your opponent from having too much joy without just sinking really deep. We talked a little bit about England doing that in the game against Croatia, where they just became a bit too compact and allowed their opponent to sort of control the game in possession. I thought the US did a pretty good job of sort of slowing the tempo down, lots of fouls, lots of sort of etc. All of the dark arts that you want to employ in that sort of situation. So yeah, I thought that it was a pretty good performance. They'll be happy with that. And maybe, the first performance was so emphatic for the US. It was quite nice for them to have this, maybe the second half where it wasn't quite so emphatic, just to I guess manage expectations a little bit, to be like, this isn't just a team that's going to rip through everyone. This is a team who can compete when you have to be a bit smarter with game management and control.
Yeah. Michael, I feel like the rest of the world is a bit surprised at how good the US men's national team have been. Do you feel that way also?
Yeah, we never really know what we're going to get from America. We know that they have maybe an unrealistic idea. I think there's a nice idea that Americans, not generalize, but they might have an unrealistic idea of what their team is capable of.
Yeah.
I think as they play in a lot of world tournaments where they're the only one in there. So then when there's other countries, maybe a bit surprised.
Yeah.
But so far, so good. And I think Poch was a smart choice. I think he really knows how to coach and attack. And I think they've showed some good capabilities. And like you said, they kind of showed a bit more gritty in the second half, because it was a bit argy-bargy at times. So, yeah.
I was going to say, is this why you employ a South American manager for some of the dark arts that John alluded to?
Maybe. I was going to ask you about this, though. We talked a bit earlier about the idea that this US men's national team it has an identity, doesn't it? Right, in a way that maybe like American soccer teams in the past haven't. But you're of the opinion that it's a Pochettino identity as opposed to like a quote unquote American identity.
It seems that way to me, and someone said earlier, maybe in the live stream, that maybe it was Seb, that Seb Stafford Bloor, who was here with us earlier.
Who's on tomorrow's show and Sunday, by the way.
He was saying that, if you tried to sort of generalize from national stereotypes, you might think America would be a kind of hard-running, very athletic kind of unit or whatever. And I think, you said this earlier. I'm a Pochettino supporter more than an America supporter.
Yeah.
I don't really think. I never had the sense that previous iterations of the U.S. men's national team had a distinct style or identity. My impression from watching maybe the last World Cup, it was sort of, I don't know what, a bit gritty, kind of lower table championship style.
Well, often based around like one or two really, really excellent players, and then it's kind of hard to have like team identity when you have one great player, right?
Exactly that. Yeah, I think this is the reason why this team is playing well. Is because they've got the best squad they've ever had, and they've got the best coach they've ever had. And you bring those two things together, and I think it raises the level of this team quite considerably. And I think, what you get with Pochettino is a coach who actually he is playing. He's playing a kind of modern form of football, but he's got the players to be able to play a bit more direct, which I think is his instinct. Some of the stuff we talked about in the pre-match preview was about how there's a number of different ways that this US team can play. They can play in the sort of classic positional sense of generating these tensions, pulling blocks apart, but they also have the ability to punch through blocks as well and play quite direct, ball carrying. They've got like a really nice athletic squad, and I think Pochettino is probably the perfect coach to give this squad to, but for that reason, I think as well, just watching his Chelsea. I mean, his Chelsea were very criticised in the Premier League because they did play like this, and they were sometimes a bit susceptible to controlling games in the other direction because they would try and carry the ball forward quickly, and when you're playing in that way, it is risky because you do sort of invite turnovers, and then if you're not nicely structured to be able to mitigate those turnovers, you can get hit in the opposite direction, which happened a few times. And then you had Maresca coming in, imposing more of that positional style back onto the team, and the inevitable sort of rise and fall of Chelsea sort of continued, where they swung one way or another. But I think with Pochettino in this kind of tournament, with this kind of squad, I think it's the perfect kind of play style to get the most out of this squad. And we talked about it before as well. This is a potentially tricky game for the US because Australia probably, one of the teams that you might expect them to sit in against them. But you're not going to expect many other teams now, I don't think, to sit in against them. So that we were kind of interested before the game, like how they're going to deal with that. But for the rest of the games, they are going to be able to play Pochettino football.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be any sort of intrinsic style problems there. They're going to be able to do what they want to do. And as they've shown, they're pretty good at doing that. So the question is going to be like, at what level does that sort of plateau out at?
Well, go on.
Well, I was going to say, I was surprised I had watched maybe one or two of the friendlies, and Seb was talking about this earlier. I watched the friendly against Germany, just before. I was surprised in the Paraguay match how much they had this kind of Pochettino identity, and maybe as you sort of hinting, Paraguay were, made it easy or presented the right kind of.
It's a relative game, right? Like you play well, the other team plays badly. Like you're contributing to them playing badly, right? You can, I don't know. Everyone always seems to say, "Well, this team won, so the other team were bad," right? But like those two things are always overlapping.
But it did feel like one of those like mid 2010s Spurs or even Southampton kind of teams in terms of how it looked.
Yeah.
It felt familiar to you. Did it make you happy?
Yeah, a little bit. But in a confusing way.
In a kind of hello, old friend.
In a confusing way, yeah.
It's been a while since a Pochettino team has hummed, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's probably right. And I wonder actually if it's something to Jon could speak to this with more authority than I could.
Stop giving him authority.
I know. Sorry,
I just talk confidently. It doesn't.
Well,
mean
I
know
wonder
anything.
actually if what has made the difference for the U.S. It's weird though because McKennie and Tyler Adams were in the last World Cup squad, but that midfield three, and maybe it's the combination of the midfield three with Dest and Pulisic, like, seems to be really humming, and that's the thing that gave me the most, Spurs 2017 vibes was that sort of midfield and attacking kind of wide player kind of interchanges and the way they moved the ball through midfield and the combinations and the rotations there.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason why you're getting that vibe is because teams are defending in mid blocks, which is much more like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I think it's kind of interesting seeing Pochettino now is because the tactical landscape has changed.
Well, he does seem like he's behind the time, like as a club manager.
Potentially, yeah, but I also think that he's potentially coming in to more relevance because the game is becoming quite direct, or at least he's evolved to be able to embrace that.
So is the narrative that Poch has got something to prove coming into this tournament because he's got new hair now and he's matching his clothes, like he seems to come in like with this aggression of he's got something to prove. Is that how it feels? I
think he definitely does, just on the basis that he got questioned pretty hard just before the tournament because it emerged that his representatives had conversations with, was it Milan?
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of clubs, and his point, and he's always been kind of grumpy with the press anyway. Like you'll remember from seeing him in Chelsea press conferences. Like his point was like, I'm out of contract at the end of the World Cup. Like, I don't know if there's a conversation about extending here, but like it's perfectly normal to be talking to other people. So I think obviously there's like. It cost an awful lot of money to bring him to be the coach of the US men's national team. It involved a lot of people that weren't directly related to the game either. So there's something to prove there that he was the right person to spend all that money on. But also, I think to a certain extent, I think he wants to like. I'm speculating, but I think he probably wants to like put a few people in their place as well and show them that even just internally that like actually no, I'm good at this.
Yeah, because we were talking about it before the pod. Like, what would it take for it to be seen as a good American tournament? What would be? Oh, Poch has proved his point. That
what do you think? Well, what would be? What do you think would make the American public happy in terms of like a finishing position?
I think beating a good European team, making the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
I think something like that. If they beat like a Belgium or a Netherlands,
would
they'd be like okay, and then honourably going out in the quarters.
Yeah,
I think that'd be good.
And they lost to the Netherlands in the last tournament, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also though, like I think in terms of the hard metrics to measure, what would they be happy with? Quarterfinals sounds great. Beating a European team or a big South American team, I think is really a good one. I think the other thing that they've kind of already achieved it though, right? Is that like I'm not smack talking them, but like before the tournament, I was sat here ready to say the US men's national teams suck. Like that like they could go out during the group stages. It's going to be embarrassing. Blah 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 blah. They've been one of the better teams.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot harder in future years to be quite so cavalier with making fun of Americans playing soccer.
Yeah.
I think so. If they've achieved anything, I think they've maybe already achieved that. Although I could be getting carried away with the American World Cup. I don't know.
There's an interesting question here, which is how Mexico fare also as hosts, because traditionally I think the sort of Mexico's kind of superpower as a national team were that they always beat the Americans. Right. This sort of like funny kind of, the Mexico-America relationship, Mexico-USA relationship, I think is a sort of fraught and complicated one. But Mexico, were, and I don't know under what permutations they might meet in the tournament, whether that's a possible thing or not. But I think in a way that the, apologies to any Mexico fans listening, I think the teams, Mexico obviously doing very well in the tournament so far, but I think the teams seem to be on kind of opposing trajectories.
Sure. The one thing they still have is that statistic that more people that live in the USA watch Liga MX than watch MLS, right?
Yeah,
so like,
really?
Today that is still true. They can claim that. But I agree with you. Like, despite the fact that, in fact, we don't have loads of time to talk about it tonight. Like Mexico will be in the knockout round, so we'll have more of an opportunity to talk about them.
In fact, all three of the
all three hosts have qualified so far.
Certainly.
Mexico became the first team to do so. They beat South Korea 1-0. It's a goalkeeping error in that game. It was actually a fairly even game. But I know what you mean by that, because despite the fact that they have 6 points, they top their group, they were pretty ropey in their first game. They haven't really felt like they haven't really felt as though they're having that great of a tournament so far, and also they came into it with like maybe not the best team also.
Yeah, I think it is interesting that you say it feels as though the US and Mexico are on different trajectories in this tournament. I think that's definitely the case. But I think with the US, I know you wanted to move on to the Mexico, but like the whole thing with the US is that they've sort of stamped their name on the tournament and being like, we deserve to be here, right? Yeah. In a way that, you know, if you were cynical, you could say, well, they didn't have to qualify. It's all of the FIFA machinations have allowed them to be here. But they've come into this tournament and they've hired a coach, and they've, you know, you're starting to see the shoots of having more and more US players in European football, for example.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing for the US this tournament, right? Is to be like, we belong in the conversation about teams that can go a bit deeper, or can maybe start going deeper. And in that respect, it's funny, obviously, like how far they get will be important, but I feel, as you said, they've done the hard work now, right? People are taking them seriously. I think they'll be generating fandom in the US amongst a tranche of probably children who maybe wouldn't have got into it unless these results have gone their way. So I think all of this is means that it's going to be a really positive tournament for them. And you know, I guess we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but the idea of the US breaking into the footballing sphere is going to only work when the grassroots is there, right? That's you only become good at football when you have children wanting to play the sport from an early age, and the facilities there to enable them to do that. And
well, I would encourage people to go and watch a video we published last week. It's called "Why Youth Soccer in America is Failing." It's written by Kaya, who's not here tonight, but I think the whole topic is fascinating. It's a lot related to pay to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot related to the fact that there aren't that many, relative to the number of people, there aren't that many, you know, high level elite coaches available as well. Like the system is really flawed, and like actually prevents the country like generating better soccer players. So it's interesting that you mentioned that like the team that we're watching is like full of players who've had success in Europe.
Yeah.
I think if you were able to like unlock, particularly because it relates so much to money, right? Like if you were able to unlock the talent from like the working classes of America, I think in 20 years' time you could have like one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
But they don't, because they have a youth system for soccer, which you've experienced firsthand, Jonathan Shainin, which has resulted in you deciding to become a journalist instead of a footballer.
That's how bad it is.
One of the saddest things I can imagine.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I think it has always seemed to me that whatever the real woes of the youth system and obviously the pay to play stuff, I think creates a fairly obvious, you know, it's intuitive to anyone who learns about this that, oh yeah, that's not the best way to develop players. Sure. But I still think that because they're the club game, and again, I think I get the sense, even though I am not really a U.S. soccer person, that like one of the two oldest arguments in U.S. soccer are sort of about pay to play and about promotion relegation. Because the club game doesn't look like top European countries or even lesser European countries. It's not so much that parents have to play. I mean, it's, you know, all American sports are like this as far as I can tell, right? You know, my nephews play baseball.
Yeah.
And they play baseball for their school or for their sort of town league. But then if you're a good baseball player, you have to get onto a travel baseball team.
Yeah.
And you're paying a lot of money to be coached by the uniforms, and you're going and you're playing against other elite youth teams.
You have to drive and you have to have a car.
Yeah, and this happens even though in America there is, you know, obviously a very profitable professional baseball league. In America, you go to university, people play baseball at university in that whole kind of American sports way that you get drafted into the professional leagues. So some part of me thinks that until such time as the MLS or whatever future American league looks like, you know, I don't know, the Eredivisie or whatnot, you're still going to have this problem. And I wonder actually if like the scenario you might see is America looking like a South American country where the best players are sold to leagues abroad.
Yeah.
Where you have Mexico maybe is in this situation. John would know better than me. Kind of other places that where the best Argentinian players go abroad. I'm not thinking of Brazil, Argentina. Maybe those are big sort of.
But even still, Brazil now has become that, right? So many of the big Brazilian players left when they were quite young. They often stepping stone through Portugal. Because of the similarity.
Yeah. So like, does football success for America as a nation skip or just never get to that point where you have?
I think it's there now though, right? Like I think part of the problem is that like the critical issues are earlier in the development stage.
Yeah.
You don't develop players that are worth selling to European clubs because we count out so many of them from a young age.
Yeah.
You just carve off like the bottom 80% of society who can't afford to do it.
It is such a funny thing, though, because it's like I have a friend who's an American novelist who lives in Britain called Ben Markovitz, who used to play basketball, was a top college basketball player,
right.
and I think maybe played in Germany or something, and then became a novelist.
A tall novelist.
Wow. And
not everyone who plays basketball is tall.
Is tall. I think he played with like Dirk Nowitzki in Germany.
Some people are.
Like that. Anyway, but I got to talking to him about this once, and he was pitching me a piece about this idea that like the most elaborate kind of talent locating system in kind of the globe is like figuring out who are the good football players.
Yeah.
Right? Like it could be that like John is like a violin genius, but like doesn't no violin scouts are coming around
right.
to be like, oh wow, if only. But if like the odds are in almost every country on earth, if you have some innate talent or some physical advantage or whatever,
there's
someone will find you.
Yeah.
And that's I guess what's missing from the US.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the competitive element, right? Which is
we haven't even had a break yet. we have to have a break. This is a fascinating conversation. We will return to it. Also, I'm keen. We were going to try and finish by 11 p.m. because what's the game? It's
Scotland, Morocco.
It's Scotland, Morocco. So we're tracking 17 minutes left to do the whole rest of the show. I knew I would be right. Admittedly, I am in charge of how long this runs. All right, let's have a quick break, and when we come back, we'll play a rondo. Yes, I hope you enjoyed the break that was there in the middle. Now, it was a real break for people who were listening afterwards, but the people who are joining us now didn't really experience that break. Now, we're going to play a rondo. Michael, let me explain to you what the rondo is, okay? I ask a question that has multiple correct answers. Mm-hmm. We go round in a circle. We give correct answers. If you give me an incorrect answer, you're ejected from the rondo.
Not the rondo.
If you take too long, if you dither, you dilly-dally, I will eject you from the rondo. The final person standing is named Rondo Del Rey.
Oh,
okay?
I want that name.
Thank you. No one's ever said that before, but you want the name?
Yeah, I want it.
Yeah, okay, fine. Now, what we've done, we've tried to cater our rondo today to our two guests. So what we're asking for is players who were in the starting 11s for Chelsea versus Spurs on the 14th of August 2022, the infamous Tuchel and Conte handshake game. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
After the game where they were grappling with hands. So what we're looking for, there's 22 correct answers here.
I thought you were going to say the infamous Pochettino v. Ange 9 men.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm resetting. Okay.
Sadly, no.
Yeah, sadly not.
I've tried to push it towards you.
Yeah.
You know? The last time you were on, I gave you a rondo that was too difficult to compete in, I think. Maybe that wasn't you.
No, it was last time I was on, it was the periodic table of the elements.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And
you did quite well in that one.
I did okay, but I've suffered a lot of shame from friends and family about my incorrect final answer, which was bronze.
Well,
I just want to own that, you know.
It's still the only rondo that John's ever won, though.
Yeah.
No, I won another one.
You know.
I won the US men's national.
Oh yeah, that was a that was a blowout.
That was immediately
that
after
one,
you
yeah.
prepared. Right. Anyway. Okay.
Okay, so
Michael, I'm starting with you. So as a reminder, I just want someone from either of the starting 11s, Chelsea v Spurs in August 2022, the infamous Tuchel Conte handshake.
Okay, Koulibaly.
Yes, Kalidou Koulibaly was that. What a pull.
wow.
Oh,
Okay.
dear me, I don't think we're winning this one. He's going straight in with Koulibaly.
Yeah.
Not in a good place.
Okay, over to you, Jonathan.
I'm gonna say Mark Cucurella.
Yeah, Marc Cucurella you can have. I'm surprised you didn't go with the Spurs player.
Well, you
but-
may recall that the scandal of that game was Kukurea having his hair pulled.
Of course.
Yeah.
Also, I like the strategy of like chiseling away.
Oh
at
yeah,
Michael
that's right.
Football.
Just go
Yeah, I
in
was
there.
like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Take his Chelsea.
Yeah.
Go for one of yours. Go for it. Okay, John.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
Sanchez.
Harry Kane was there. Okay, you want Sanchez? No Sanchez as far as I'm seeing, but you
No.
do get the benefit of the debutante's second go.
Oh my god.
Jonathan, you don't get that because
Okay,
you've
I
played the
get
game
it.
before.
I
So,
get it. I
Michael,
get it.
you have another guess now.
Reece James.
Reece James, of course, you can have. Yeah, it's a risky guess because of so many injuries,
Availability.
though.
Yes, I had that same thought. Yeah.
Jonathan,
Christian Romero.
Christian Romero. Yes,
he was
Christian
the
Romero
hair
is there.
puller, infamously. I
Yes.
thought someone else would pick up that.
You're
but-
running out of events.
I know. I don't remember the game actually. Really.
You're going with
well.
the hair puller and the
Yeah.
hair pulley.
John,
I'll say Heung-min Son.
Heung-min Son, you can have. Yeah, Michael, back to you.
Raheem Sterling.
Raheem Sterling was a starter. Well done. Okay, Jonathan.
Ooh, Hugo Lloris.
Hugo Lloris. Yeah. John.
Emerson Royale.
Emerson Royale. Oh, yeah, Emerson Royale is actually there. Yeah, well done. Michael.
Conor Gallagher.
Conor Gallagher is not there.
Still at Crystal Palace.
You are
I think.
rejected
I
Yeah.
from
don't
the
get Rondo
Rondo.
Del Rey.
Don't worry, we'll have you
I
back
didn't even
another time,
understand it, to
and
be
you can
honest.
get the names. Jonathan, you are not the first out. Congratulations.
Okay.
But I believe in you here.
Okay.
That they've still got 6 Spurs players. All of them just superb.
Okay.
That's
We
not
said-
strictly true.
We said Heung-min Son. We said Harry Kane. We said Christian Romero.
A bit long on the ball.
He's dithering, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's dillying.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. I'm
5,
gonna say
4.
Rodrigo Bentancur.
Rodrigo Bentancur is there. Congratulations. You live to fight another day. John?
Okay.
Kulusevski.
Kulusevski is there. Yeah, chisel away at the Spurs. Yeah, get him. Get him. He deserves it. Jonathan, back to you.
Oh man.
For your sake, I hope your 5-year-old is asleep now.
Yes.
Wouldn't want them to witness this.
Who's playing in the Spurs midfield other than Bentancur, Kulusevski?
You've got 1, possibly 2, possibly 3 of those people that you've named. Not named, but suggested.
Oh, Gio Lo Celso.
No.
Mm.
Okay, John, you have to get one correct in order to be named Rondo Del Rey.
I'm going to go Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Yeah, there you go. Well done.
What's up,
Congratulations.
Wow.
Rondo Del Rey, you've been named. Your competitors refusing to clap you there.
Oh, sorry.
Out
sorry,
of, no.
That's
It-
fine.
the
You know what,
moment's
yeah, I'm
passed.
Wait, no, we're going to do a tense handshake. Right? Isn't that the,
That's
the appropriate
true.
Thing? Oh, man.
Players you could have had. Now, there were 3
I didn't
Spurs
even go
players
into
left.
I didn't even get into Chelsea at all. I
I
just
know.
went through
Ben Davies you could have had, of course.
Okay, playing-
Eric Dyer. Who remembers Eric Dyer? Ryan Sessegnon you could have had.
Wow.
I love the name Sessegnon because you can just throw a lot of Sessegnon. You can throw a lot of French in there. And then Chelsea players you could have had Kai Havertz,
Oh.
Jorginho,
Was Mason Mount
my
there?
God.
N'Golo Kante,
Oh, wow.
Mason Mount was there,
Yeah.
Edouard Mendy, Ruben Loftus-Cheek,
Oh,
Thiago Silva you could have had.
what a team.
How about that? It was a pretty
What a
good
team that
Who
was
won that game?
dismantled. It was 2-2.
Was it 2-2?
Yeah.
Was that the team that won the Champions League for Chelsea? Season after.
Yeah, that was the season after.
Another season.
How about that?
I can't believe that, man.
Well, there you go. What a fun rondo that was.
It was
Congratulations
great. That
to
was a
John.
great rondo, whoever wrote that.
Competitive.
Have
Yeah, it was
fun.
producer Ryan's
Yeah,
rondo. There
brilliant.
it goes. It was competitive. It was competitive. Now, another team that have made it to the knockout stages, Canada. Meanwhile, Canada secured their first ever men's World Cup win, beating 9-man Qatar 6-0. With a hat trick from Jonathan David. Actually, he scored his first goal just after John and I we were chatting. We were playing video games and chatting, saying like, "Oh yeah, it just never doesn't score enough goals," you know. Then he scored a hat trick in the game. That was great. The downside, I think we mentioned this earlier on the live stream. The downside, horrific injury to Ismaila Kone, which was a very sad. The Sassuolo player. I also felt really bad for the Qatar player who made the challenge as well, who was obviously shocked and upset by what had happened. But Kyle Larin started the game. I don't believe he started the first. Here's a quote from him after the game. "We showed the world who Canada is." Very impressive. A lot of players came from nowhere. Basically, we showed the fight we have in us, and we showed that we can perform on the world stage. We are just getting started. Now, congratulations to Canada, who have qualified for the knockout stages. Jesse Marsch, though, Canada's coach, did draw some criticism for his celebrations and general antics.
Was he
during the
doing
game.
was it a DJ set?
He did the DJ
was that
set
the-
thing.
I thought it was like a kung fu kind of.
I'm not sure what it was. It was an expression of energy,
Yeah.
at the very least.
Yeah.
He also stayed on the pitch for quite a long time to celebrate afterwards. I mean, he drew a lot of negative attention for this. I saw a clip doing the rounds. Forgive me, I don't know the name of the person who was speaking on RTE, who was speaking about this afterwards.
I believe it's pronounced RTE.
RTE, I'm sorry. The channel of my people, John. As you know, I don't know the name of the person who was speaking, but I thought it was interesting to listen to them. Essentially, sort of accusing him of like living a bit too much in the moment. So I think, on the one hand, it's Canada's men's team's first World Cup win. So okay,
Yeah.
you know. They have qualified for the knockout stages by getting 4 points. Okay, it's a pretty big deal. It's at home, pretty big deal.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Jesse Marsch did stay out for longer than the players. They did beat 9-men Qatar 6-0.
Yeah.
I think there's an element of like choose your moments when
Yeah.
it comes to these sorts of celebrations. I mean, what do you think, Michael? 'Cause managers can sometimes overdo it in these scenarios.
Well, you know, he's probably worked hard. You know, definitely did. He just wants to enjoy the moment a
Yeah.
bit. I would have stopped after the DJ. The DJ. So I think that's where I would leave it. I think I've used up all my celebration sort of energy for that, and it's like, all right, I have to dial it down for the rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but then it's up to him.
Fair enough, John. I get, some people don't like this about Jesse Marsch, though. Like he shows a lot of passion. That he's what are other terms for shows a lot of passion?
Do you know? I think it's just that he misjudges situations. I think as a Leeds fan,
Right.
there was plenty of examples of him doing the same thing with us, like celebrating losses, for example, in front of the fans, and that, which, you know, things like that, which didn't go well. And he did his fair share of ridiculous celebrations as well in certain situations. I think it was the 2-0 win against Liverpool at Anfield, which, you know, maybe that's worthy of a ridiculous celebration. I don't know, but the celebration did detract from the enjoyment of the moment for me.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it comes down to, and I think you're right in as much as when you celebrate like that, it starts detracting away from the wider picture and focuses on an individual, and I just don't think that that's helpful. And you know, the sort of fallout from that is that we're now talking about his celebrations rather than the game, right? That's inevitable, and that's what everyone will have done because I think it prompts that kind of response. So. Yeah, I think that he's fairly unique in that. There's not many football coaches who celebrate in the way that he does and make it about him so consistently and so regularly. So.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. Do you have an opinion about this, Jonathan?
Well, I was watching the match, and the kung fu record scratch DJ move, I think, was for 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Had they won a penalty? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
that what he was
they
celebrating?
hadn't even scored the penalty, but
So they'd won the penalty.
was it a penalty? Was it not? There was
It
a
was a red-
penalty that
there
was
was a red
turned
card
into a
that-
red.
Oh,
card.
yeah.
But
He wasn't celebrating.
So he
that.
celebrated the penalty being given,
Yeah.
and then it became a red.
Is that it? Oh, so maybe it wasn't for 2-0 because maybe it was already 2-0 at that point. I was on my couch. I was watching it. I think I had the sound off. I don't know. I was probably about to go to bed, and I saw him do this like dance move.
Yeah.
And I had this like I had this like American cringe, and I was like, Jesse, you're ruining it for all of us. We look like real clowns, and I think, you know, that's maybe personal to me. I think that at 6-0, like, okay, there, you're still pretty excited. That's the moment when you know that you are going to get your first ever win in the World Cup.
Yeah.
So okay, you lose yourself to that moment.
But I
think
think
to
you know
be-
at 2-0 when you're
Yeah, but I
one
think to
man
be,
up, right?
but I think to be, I mean, as John's saying, right, to kind of grandstand at the end. I don't know. Was Nagelsmann, you know, going crazy when they beat Curacao?
Yeah, Curacao.
7-1. You know, I doubt it. I don't know.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
I think it was partly like embellished by the fact that I felt quite sorry for Qatar's players because I think there's a moment where you can see on their faces with the second red card happens.
Yeah.
The player like this after this shocking moment as well, where there's been a leg break and everyone's shaken up by this. It's a traumatic thing to experience. Nobody wants that to happen. and then you see them kind of realize how long left there is to play.
Yeah.
It's sort of heartbreaking. I feel really sorry for them. Like, they're obviously hugely embarrassed that this is happening. They just want the game to finish.
Yeah.
Like that's a classic, like, just get me out of here as soon as possible moment that even, professional athletes are allowed to have those moments as well. So to celebrate at the end of that, maybe to give Jesse Marsch the benefit of the doubt, maybe he didn't have the benefit of the broadcast angles of the faces of the players to see that kind of disappointment and sadness. Otherwise, it felt a little bit like rubbing it in, is what I'm saying.
I think as well, part of the problem with the Jesse Marsch thing is that it becomes a cipher for a conversation about Americanness, and I don't think that's necessarily fair, right? Because, like you say, you feel cringe because you know that people will be like, "Oh, that's what all Americans are like," right?
Well, it seems particularly awkward too that he's not even managing the American team.
Right.
The Canadians must be like, "Oh my God, can we not lose this?"
Yeah, and I think in the past he's used that as a sort of response, being like, people want me to fail because they see me as being American, and therefore. But again, I think that there is a sense in which he is responsible for this. Like he could make the decision not to do this. And
we have a producer's note here. The question is: this a bit celebration policey? Which I think is a very fair question.
Yeah. Well, I think, but this is interesting. I thought about that when I was formulating my take, which is that to criticize the 2-0, 3-0, whatever disco scratch thing, that I think is celebration police.
Sure.
But I think to parade around after winning 6-0. I think it's like, well, no.
And we're not talking about them celebrating, right? We're not, like, by all means, Canadians should celebrate that. It's a great result. The players should be proud of what they've achieved.
Fantastic.
It's great that they've got to this point. The entire argument for me hangs on the fact that we're talking about Jesse Marsch. Not the Canadian performance, not the Canadian celebrations at the end.
Yeah.
It has become narrowed down to that narrow.
At most, I would call it like celebration community support officer. In that. The British Transport Police, maybe not quite, authority of police, just kind of monitoring the situation. We're not going to do anything.
No, we don't do anything. We don't have the power to arrest anybody. Yeah. But maybe one day.
Yeah. We can make citizens arrest.
On that RTE clip, which I sent you.
Yeah.
One of the two guys who's talking, the one who's not really giving it to Jesse Marsch, plays a kind of devil's advocate and says, well, look, isn't he trying to get Canadians into this World Cup, get them excited? They don't really care about football necessarily. It's not a big thing. And I do think that's an interesting dynamic here, and it goes to maybe what Michael was saying about Pochettino. Does he have something to prove? I feel like what Pochettino maybe has to prove, and maybe Jesse Marsch has a similar kind of thing going on, is like, Pochettino, I think, must feel that he's taking a big chance here. This is like a big project, right? Like, it's not the done thing as a top manager who wants to like go back to PSG or whatever, Barcelona, Real Madrid, to go manage the U.S. of all places.
Yeah.
And so he must feel that he has to have a transformative tournament, both in terms of the success of the team, but also in terms of sort of changing the culture. I mean, whether you could do that in one tournament or one manager or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
But my guess would be that is what is on his mind. But he's not celebrating like Jesse Marsch.
No. And also, to a certain extent, I think if you are an elite athlete or you're the manager of elite athletes or you're in, this window in any way, like, do whatever you want. Don't have to listen to us. It's absolutely fine. Like, you want to celebrate on the pitch at the end of that result, do it. It will be like,
if you beat someone 6-0, though, you're sort of like, you don't want to go do like a knee slide in front of the
No, that's true. I was
thinking
teams. About that before. Like, John and I play Rocket League, the video game Rocket League a lot, which is car football, right? And I have a very different attitude towards the game than John does. If I'm playing against an easy team, if I'm playing against 9-men Qatar, I want to score as many goals as possible. I want to make it so that Qatar never want to come back and play me again. Whereas John will get 2 ahead and then be like, oh, just fuck around, have a good time. But I don't know. So I feel like I share the elite sportsmanship mentality. That's what I'm saying there. And now I've decided that my opinion is completely 180'd. It's absolutely fine. Knee slide on the pitch afterwards. Make them wish that they weren't there. How about that? Anyway, Scotland-Morocco's kicked off. We were supposed to be finished, but we're not. So instead, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back. If you want to watch that game, though, do go and watch it I don't want to see any comments saying that you missed a goal because you didn't leave a live stream. It's all your responsibility. Take control of your life. Okay, we're back from the break. We just got about a little 10 minutes left. No one mind's missing the first 10 minutes of the next game. We're all locked in, aren't we?
We are going to watch it, yeah?
I'm going to watch it. You're welcome to stick around. Welcome to stick around. Now, what I wanted to do was have a very quick review of the sort of first round of the games. Everyone's played one game now. So I don't know how many that is. How many games is that? 24. That's easy to work out, isn't it? Just half the number of teams. Look at me go. So at least 24 games have happened. I wanted to go around and ask for people's favourite moments. Michael, I'll start with you. Do you have a favourite game from the first group that happened?
I liked France.
Yeah.
Was it Senegal?
France, Senegal. That was one of the best ones.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That was very good. Some very good goals in that one. Good moment. Some good Jackson misses. I like watching him do that. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. Favorite moment so far? You have to come back to me on that one.
Yeah. What about favorite? Could you have a favorite goal?
Oh, my favorite goal was probably the Trivela.
Yeah.
I like that Gio Reyna Trivela. I like a Trivela.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That's for me. Yeah.
How about you, Jonathan? Favorite game?
Probably England, Croatia.
Yeah.
Most exciting.
I really want to know, like, for total neutrals, what that experience was like. JJ tried to claim that he was one, but
I think it
was.
I think it had a combination of a lot of scoring, but also quite competitive. Right? It was.
Yeah.
There were 6 goals, but it wasn't like 6-0.
Sure. Players from the Champions League.
Yeah. I think that was pretty exciting. I thought Spain, Cape Verde was quite exciting.
Pretty fun without any goals.
Yeah. But also just, I mean, I think John was talking about this earlier, or maybe it was Seb, sorry. Just kind of like unthinkable that, like, you know, the whole second half a bit like, how is this still happening?
It wasn't me.
Germany
it's because you're sitting in the chair where he's sitting.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
not because you look like
I'm
Seb.
also,
Yeah.
you do look a little bit like Seb, though.
No.
It was nice to see
third and fourth Mitchell brothers.
Germany getting off to a good start as well, albeit against Curacao. John, any favourite game for you?
I enjoyed the US Paraguay game,
Yes.
mainly because I'd made a video that said that it might be a good game.
Right.
And
You were proud of yourself.
I'd just like to get I'd just like to get.
You were like, yes, America, and me, and me as well as America.
I cheered. I was there on the pitch afterwards. I was doing this when they scored.
Some people say John always makes it about himself.
Yeah. You know how when people like bet on football and then they're like super into the game. When John makes a tactics video about football, he's so into
anything
it.
to get the people off my back. You know, that's all it is for me. Well, as long as I know that I can sleep safe that night, I'm good.
Can you name any of the people who are on your back? Is it anyone who's in this room?
There's too many of them.
Yeah.
Too many
The usernames are too long, aren't they, John? That's the thing.
And I think my favourite moment was the referee going down with cramp.
That was great
Yeah,
fun.
that's always good.
A very rare instance of a.
That's embarrassing. So if you're the referee in a World Cup game and you go down with cramp, it's not embarrassing that happens. It's embarrassing for you because you know that no one is disincentivized from making fun of you anywhere in the world, right? Like you are the main target for fun making.
So one of the players stretches out his hamstring.
Right.
And Adam Hurrey's just shared the clip. You know, the BBC have their 3D experience.
Yes.
He went on there, and you can select the point of view for that player, and then the referee's just lying on the floor with his leg up. So I recommend you go and find Adam Hurrey's Twitter.
I'd like to propose a controversial worst moment.
Yes, please do.
I thought the Harry Kane penalty retake.
You didn't like it?
I liked it
Yeah.
for the result.
Yeah.
But I felt like
It's lame. It's lame.
yeah.
It's rubbish.
Yeah.
I also thought, I mean, to be fair, this is really pushing it. I thought it was a soft penalty of a kind. I mean, he kicked him really hard, but you know, he's not going anywhere with that
That's
ball.
Spurs bias coming
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh,
although-
because it was Madueke.
No, it was
Modric.
Well, yeah, it was
Oh,
Madueke, but
Modric
it was
kicking Madueke, yeah.
exactly.
The traitor Madueke.
I
But
think
you'll
Harry
remember
Kane-
that next time you're doing a rondo, you'll think, oh, Madueke and Modric, you'll get at least two
Final
nailed on.
incident, yeah. I think Harry Kane should have 2 opportunities for every penalty going forward. I'm absolutely.
They
fine
might have
with
won the
that.
World Cup last time around if he had 2.
Yeah. There we go. Now, one more thing before we finish. Actually, do you know what? We've been talking forever. Let's can it. We were going to talk about how this World Cup is going for the USA as a country.
Oh, can I? No.
Do you know what? If you want to talk about it for 2 minutes, let me ask you one question, which is you were in the US very recently.
I was there very briefly.
You're American.
I am American.
Yeah.
Whoa,
I'm contractually obliged to say here that I was in the U.S. to launch the first issue of my magazine, Equator.
There it is. I knew there was a reason that we were talking about this. I'm just kidding. Now, you were there. What's the vibe like? Are people excited?
Yes, people are excited. I was in New York, which likes to see itself as not like the rest of the U.S.
Sure.
But is in some ways the most American place in America. I arrived on Sunday when people were still like bleary-eyed from having celebrated the Knicks World Championship.
Sure.
The night before. The vibes are good. I mean,
I think it's going well so far for the US as a project. Like, if we were to look at it in the same way that we looked at Russia and Qatar, do you think it's going well? Because there's been quite a lot of, like, with Russia and Qatar, I felt like the bad news stories sort of stopped when the football started. But with the States, it hasn't really happened.
I think it's complicated. I think this is the first. What's significant to me about this World Cup is that this is the first time that I think America sees itself on the world stage as like a bad guy, right? Like the reputation of America in the world at large is not very good at the moment for various reasons, right?
When you say America sees itself that way, do you mean that Americans recognize that?
I think they recognize that other people see them that way.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think every American recognizes that.
Sure.
Maybe those of us who don't live there anymore have a certain investment in this reputation. I'm surprised. I think the football has kind of outpaced the bad vibes.
Yes,
right? There was
I
a
agree
lot
with
of
that.
bad news before the tournament.
Yeah.
And in the early days of the tournament, I think I heard you say on an earlier podcast or someone else that Qatar and Russia were heavily concerned to really put their best face forward.
Sure.
And to make sure that nothing would go wrong, and that at least in the run-up to the tournament, certainly like the vibe from like the Trump administration or the American government or whatever was like, well, we don't care, we don't need to impress you.
Sure.
I would say that the excitement of the game, right? Like the Iranian team seems to still be suffering some travel ban, going back to Mexico kind of madness.
Yeah. There were a few examples. I mean, the Somalian referee Omar Artan wasn't allowed in, of course, and Iraqi team photographer wasn't allowed in. The Iraq striker Ayman Hussein was questioned for hours on arrival.
I don't know if this stuff, if less of it is happening now, kind of 1 week in, but it seems from my ambient perception that it is occupying less of the discursive space than it was in the run up to the first 2 or 3 games. I also think one of the things that seemed to me an interesting element of this was the kind of diminished role of Mexico and Canada.
Yes.
I think it's 104 games. Mexico and Canada have 13 each, and so the U.S. has 78. We published a fine piece in Equator by a Mexican novelist who owns one of the seats in the Azteca, which his grandmother bought in 1966.
Wow.
And the Azteca seat holders had to sue to retain the rights to sit in their seats. Anyway, it's a great piece. You can read it on the Equator website.
That sounds good.
But no, he was like, it's shameful that Mexico accepted, we put on some of the greatest World Cups in history, 1970, 1986.
Yeah.
How is it that we're the sort of feeble younger brother to America?
Sure.
But
it really does feel like it's. I know it's Canada and Mexico are involved, but like it's the US's World Cup.
I think though the fact that Canada and Mexico are on the pitch doing quite well has sort of smoothed the edge off that. That's my impression.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not taking public opinion surveys in Mexico or Canada.
No.
So, can I say allegedly? Will that fix it? Allegedly, that's what's happening.
For the live stream earlier, we learned that word has no legal bearing whatsoever, by the way, in case people are using it at home. Yeah. I don't know, John, do you have a perspective on this? I know you've been in the tactics cupboard. You've been very focused on the football itself. But I think it's a big deal that I'm sort of reticent to like. I want to let it pass. I want to watch the football and kind of ignore all of the more complicated stuff, but I'm reticent to.
We can hold a contradictory position in many respects in lots of areas of life, right? Where we can accept that football is always going to be layered over the top of like a political reality, and you're never going to be able to hermetically seal one thing off from the other. Football is undeniably political and always will be the case. But at the same time, like I also feel as though when it comes to the World Cup, there's a sense in which the football sort of does transcend that as well, right? The football is good as an end in itself. We don't need And I think that's the contradictory position you have to hold. You have to realise on the one hand that what this tournament is a sports washing event for a political entity, but the football itself, I still think, has an intrinsic value outside of that context, because football is a game that is played between two teams, and that is good. It should be a celebration of the achievements of these countries to get to this competition, the achievement of these countries to develop a football culture which has enabled them to develop the players that they have, etc. And so, I think it's a contradictory. And I think what we should do is we should hold those two things in tension. We should say the football is good, the sports washing is bad, and not have to try and smooth that over. Just let it sit there and sort of fester away while we're watching.
This is spoken like a true Hegelian.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Would you like an incredibly hard left turn?
Oh yeah, sure.
Let's tell some excellent football jokes at this stage. At this stage, the perfect timing. Fantastic. Now, welcome to the section. This is, if anyone needs to be told, very inspired by the late great Norm Macdonald. Here we are. We've got some excellent football jokes. And Michael Odewale, would you like to read one, sir?
I'd love to.
There you go. There's one. In fact, I'm going to give you a couple, but we'll do this one first and see how we go on. You get one too, Jonathan. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Spain needn't worry about scoring goals at this World Cup.
Oh, why is that?
If it's still 0-0, I have it on good authority that Mark Cucurella will pop up at the hour mark.
At the hour mark. Ah, Mark Cucurella. Yes, of course. Cuckoo.
Oh, wow.
Cucurella.
You should have underlined the cuckoo.
God, I should have underlined
Well,
the cuckoo.
he did on the earlier one that Seb read.
I
That
capitalised.
Gilmore was capitalized.
You're absolutely right. I did. Well, I feel like this one suits you, Jonathan.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah?
Let me see. Now, do you think is it?
Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Is it another Cucurella joke?
No. I just wanted to, it's just like
They're
saying
so
cuckoo.
wordy. They're such a word.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, everyone's a critic.
Yeah. Okay. Some of the games at this World Cup are being played at the Lincoln Financial Field.
Oh, yes. Good one.
It's the only level financial playing field in the tournament. Am I right?
What a wry observation you've made
pretty
there.
wry.
Very
Yeah.
wry. Yeah?
I like this. Now that we really turned it around was the reference to Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
I was like, I see,
yeah.
I see.
It's like a good thing.
I
but
see,
not a
I
good
see.
thing.
Yeah.
It's at least an attempt to be a good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of like
It
a,
worked
I think
for
I'm admitting, Joe, actually that for most of this evening, I thought these were good jokes you were trying to write.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they are.
Yeah.
They are
Of course.
good jokes.
Yes. Very good.
But
Very good. Yes.
Would you pass this one to Michael?
here you go.
I think you'll like this one, Michael.
I like
It's
that.
less wordy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Domino's who?
Sorry. Domino's hoo-hoo.
Please stop advertising Domino's.
Oh, I'm gonna stop advertising Domino's.
That one was just great.
That's
That was
good.
that was
I like that one.
uncontroversially brilliant.
You want me to read one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read this one, then I'll give this one to John. Okay, here we are. People are saying that Edson Alvarez knits together Mexico's midfield really well. Yeah. I hope he will also be playing football, though, because there's a time and a place for knitting.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think I saw that one.
You like that
I
one?
saw that with the knitting. I was like, yeah, that's interesting.
He
Yeah,
played
yeah.
in defence last night as well. So.
Right, he knit their defence together well.
Why?
Yeah, knit
Pass that one to
defensive-
John.
Why
Knit
Edson
defense.
Alvarez for that one?
I think because the Guardian described him as knitting.
Oh, I see. That's a specific thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you
I thought
say
you,
to this one?
someone had a kind of Steve Weaver from Scotland.
You've got to read it out loud. I just thought you were reading it in your head. Just
do
into
I
this,
have to?
Just into this
To the camera?
I think you're going to really like this. Now, listen. You've paused halfway through these jokes to analyse them before.
No,
Don't
I
do
think
that.
this one's good structurally.
Commit to this one.
This one structurally holds.
I think this. I can read this in your voice as well.
Deliver it like you believe in it.
This is
Yeah.
call and response. It's,
Okay.
it's the classic joke.
Okay, I'm excited.
structure,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Do you know why Declan Rice is so good at corners?
Why, John?
He's always putting it in dangerous areas.
He's putting it in dangerous areas.
He did a
is.
sponsorship with them, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah,
He did.
He already made the link.
I had a
himself.
more sort of like convoluted one, which was something along the lines of, Declan Rice has called his latest baby Rice Baby. What started as an advertising campaign has quickly soured. You know, there's not a real punchline to that one.
No,
though.
I see the building blocks are there.
Yeah. So I didn't tell it because I
Just
thought
none of the cement
wasn't
or
very
any
good.
of the other required elements of a building. Yeah.
Anyway, there we go. That was excellent football jokes. Thank you so much for reading those, Michael, and our other guests as well. Now, one more thing just before we finish off. We have to wrap up quickly by playing Points Are Bad. Points Are Bad is our score guessing game. It's our score guessing game. And let me tell you, things are really heating up. Overnight they were. John, you had a somewhat tricky-ish day yesterday after a very good day the day before.
I got drunk on high scores.
You got drunk on high scores. You went.
I should have been like, that was smart.
Absolutely.
It happened. Now go back to being 2-1s all the way.
You should have left it. What I'm realizing now I look at this sheet is that I've been very complacent today and I haven't actually added up any of these scores. So as it turns out, we just can't do the feature. So it's the end of the show. Instead, what we'll do is we'll do it offline and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll tell the people what happened. Yeah. If anything, Ryan, it's quite good because we were really overrunning anyway, weren't we?
It's 15 minutes into the game.
No, we're not 15 minutes. Are we really? How about that? Well, listen, Jonathan Shainin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Michael Odewale, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Where can people find you? Have you got gigs coming up, by the way?
Always got gig. You'll find me on the Instagrams. If you use that, if you're a fan of that, Michael Odewale comedy. See my stuff.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for coming, buddy. John, thank you.
Thank you.
Producer Ryan, producer Jamie, thanks very much. And the show will be back tomorrow, but not I. I will be at a children's party. Very exciting for me. Very exciting. But
at 8 p.m. At 8 p.m.
The children, they love staying up late. I'm just not coming in now. But Seb will be here to host the show in my stead, so worry not. There will be things happening. But until then, ta-ra, goodbye. Thank you very much. Au revoir. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss.